the minutes from February 21st, the public meeting, and the 22nd non-public.
I'll make a motion to approve both.
Second.
And I agree. The non-public, just so everyone knows, we met to go through minutes that had been sealed, non-public meeting minutes that had been sealed back to 1992, and we unsealed virtually all of them. I think there were 3. So that's what that
Doesn't even
was.
anything good.
No. Ex officio reports.
I do have some stuff from
Planning board is nothing.
uh,
Did you make it a cover the land?
I did not, there's no.
It did, didn't it? Okay.
this is a list of stuff that they need. We just want you to, oh, this is about the boots, Cindy.
Oh, we have these are the boots.
They are,
Terrible place for that chair. I'm going to pause the meeting because nobody's going to hear anyway while these people are coming in and getting chairs and everything. You're welcome. I couldn't hear you anyway over that. So.
that's okay. They're currently at the fire station. They were purchased in September.
Yep.
They were paid for in October. They were worn, so they're used, can't return.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I know it, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And I do have a list of stuff that they need.
Stuff that they need.
Yep,
What kind of stuff?
oh, lots of stuff. But give it back to me and
Yeah, no worries.
I will leave it in the, I will copy it and leave it in the office.
So right now, I think, this right here is probably the most important.
12 complete sets of gear. Well, you know,
All that gear is over 10 years.
whatever they budgeted for is what they can do this year. I mean, unless they're going to the auxiliary. This
Right.
is
Yeah,
good to know for putting together next year's budget.
Right.
yeah. Actually, I went through
Thanks.
their gear and see who's older.
Anything else? Nope. And I got nothing myself. So, public comment? Yes, Steve.
Yeah, I have a comment to make, and once again, it's about the library, and I just would like to say that when something's offered at no cost or no taxation, it's very seductive sounding, but the chances are of it being at no cost to taxpayers is virtually none. And once again, the plan is very sketchy at best, and what we're looking at is building a barn frame with an envelope. We don't know what the envelope is going to be made of. We don't know what the roof is going to be made of. We don't know what virtually most things in that library are going to contain. And I'd like to say that the second part is that I read in a newsletter where building this half-assed building is going to position Grafton to get grants, I think is totally absurd. I think it's loopy, and I think it's a sham, and I think the voters need to consider a very serious decision on voting day when it comes to the library. Thanks.
Thank you, Steve. Anyone else? Ryan.
So at the deliberative, Tom talked about the town owns several properties that cost the town money. Like, I've done asking around to everybody but the select board that I can think of that might know, and it seems like that may not be true what he was saying. Does the select board know of properties that the town owns that cost it money every year? I think Tom at the deliberative said like there were several, like 4 or 5 properties. Does anybody know anything about this? Or
Did you ask Tom?
I haven't yet.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I see you guys. So
Yeah.
See Bonnie. So
Probably this one.
I was going to say there's this in the town office and the highway department buildings and the recycle center.
Fire department.
But yeah, fire department. Thank you.
seemed to be
Sure.
like
The cook shack.
repossessed or whatever, gotten from the tax rolls that needed cleaned up or something, so that doesn't seem to be the case, is that correct? Or can someone see my last name?
Anything we get from tax rolls, we sell at
The-
auction.
The only one that we still have, wait, no. Well, no, there's actually, there's two that we haven't deeded because of the issues with them, because that would be something, so.
But they're not costing us money.
I don't think so, we're not paying to maintain them or heat them or anything like that, so, no, I'm not sure exactly what he had in mind when he made that comment.
But there is, if someone owned those properties, we would be getting taxes from them.
Yeah,
Instead of
so-
just sitting there doing nothing.
Sure, there's the opportunity cost, but it's not costing us extra. Thanks.
When the DRA figures out the tax, our total tax bill, our tax implication, it's not based on the town valuation. So those are included in the value of all the properties in town, and so if nobody's paying taxes, but there's not a direct bill attached to it, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hi.
I just had a question. Are they still gonna move the old library to a new location?
Not to the best of my knowledge. Could I ask who you are, please, so we have a bit of...
Vicky Mogan, I live on Killing.
Okay, thank you. I knew you looked familiar, but I couldn't remember. Thanks. To the best of my knowledge, they discarded that concept. That had been one of the first things they looked at, but they've gone away from that now.
So also, if this does go through the old library, the town literally has to go through court to be able to do anything else with that building. Because it was donated as a library. So we would have to go to court, pay the fees to get it changed to, we can use it for anything else. Yeah, but we'd have to pay for it to be changed.
Yes, Ryan?
Does voting yes on Article 5 help that? I think Article 5 is that the one where the town can disperse properties that it owns or say demolish buildings or whatever. Is that
Sorry.
Article 5? Whichever article that is, does that help?
It's the town's property.
That is the correct one, number 5, but I don't think that gives us that authority. Just because it's a library, because there's all kinds of different laws pertaining to libraries.
Okay, thanks.
We would still have to go through court and get it changed.
All right. Well, not quite time for our 6:15. What do you want to do? IT support services? Can we run through that in 7 minutes or so?
No.
No. All right. Should we do the 6:30 early? Yeah. Sure, why not? Why not? Come up if you like, stay there if you're more comfortable, whatever works for you.
Okay. Well, first, I'm Ginny Bartholdis, and my husband and I, we had bought the land up on Wild Meadow several years ago. We came up from Hillsborough. We retired. He retired January 1st. So, and we began, it's a kid home. We don't have anything in the house. The only thing that's in the house right now is a wood stove, and that's it. We've been in touch. We finally were able to connect with our septic design man over in Bristol, Colin Brown, and unfortunately, it snows here every day.
Sure does.
Every day, and it's only an hour north of Hillsborough, and it snows every day. We were back down in Hillsborough yesterday, and I said to my husband, there's like no snow here, and it snows every day. So Mr. Brown told me that until the snow melts, he can't. Now, I know a few years ago, the gentleman, the couple that owned the property had already had this all done, like the site work for a septic and a house design. But what I told Mr. Brown was we were going with a brand new survey, because it expired. It's a couple of years, it's out of date.
It's good for 4 years.
Oh, well, we're 3.
A septic design is
It's
good for 4 years.
Okay, because he told me that he wouldn't touch it, basically, if it were somebody else's work. Okay.
Making money.
This is true. Yeah, I'm finding out about that too. So, and
Look in the come to the office and look at the file from the previous owners, and you will find that there
who
should.
did it? Cause the only thing we found was Razor Hill.
Oh, that was Bob Center.
Oh, okay. That's who did
Okay.
all of the site work?
He probably
That would
did
make
the
sense,
site
yeah,
work,
they were
yes.
friends.
Okay,
And
okay.
his designer has a business and comes from Hill, New Hampshire.
Okay, all right, so that's all at the town office? I
Oh,
tried
that-
doing it through the state and I was like, okay, I can't do this.
But we know everything.
Yeah,
about it.
she'll
Yeah.
dig out the file and you can
Oh.
go through it all.
Oh, okay, I should have known, I didn't. And then the goal and the dream is to have this, if everything melts.
It will,
It will eventually.
eventually.
We call that August.
I'm telling you, in my life, I only saw this twice in May, where we had the snow over cars, and I was like, wow. And I just said to my husband, he turned to me, he goes, it's snowing again, and I said, it snows every day. Even in the sun, it just snows every day. So, and that's where we are, we're at no,
Okay.
there's no, we have that, and then we're gonna do, what's after that? You do the, oh, and we have the well is already dug, and then we have to get a well, anybody have a well person?
Bob Center does that.
So Razor Hill does all of
And
that, sure.
You
Okay.
can get the phone number from Sarah.
Okay,
And it's in
Okay.
town.
I was gonna say, there's probably 4 people in this room that probably have it on their phone or in their purse.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, because this sticker is worn away.
Look at that, he's got it memorized.
Oh, okay.
9180.
Okay. His sticker is worn away, and that's what I said, we gotta find out if this person is still around. Okay, so that's the story of what
Okay.
we're doing, that's where
And
we are.
he'll tell you, he won't fib to you.
Okay, okay, now we know.
Highly recommended.
Okay,
Very much so.
all right, that's tomorrow's job then, I'll make that phone call.
Yeah, I was gonna start off with an apology, because the ball got dropped on our end on this thing, because you brought the application in May. And I guess Sue had told you to talk to the health officer, and you two had gone back and forth a little bit. I don't know if he didn't get back to us, or he got back to Sue, and Sue didn't tell us, or however it happened, but you've been building without an approved building notification. So I've been driving past and thinking, well, what in the world is going on? This isn't right. And someone had said, I thought that Sue had told me that you said you were just building an outbuilding, a shack or a storage kind of thing.
No.
And then when I saw the stovepipe go up, I went, no, that's not storage. They're living there. They plan to live there.
That's what
And your vehicles are there all the time.
right, well,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
but, well, one is under snow, but what, no, that was why, I was
Yeah.
petrified of doing something illegal. Have we done something illegal? We're not living in it, it's not, there's no.
Right,
reason.
right.
You can't
Yeah.
live in it.
No, technically not. But so I guess you had talked to him about a composting toilet?
Yeah, well, no, I'm not,
All right.
okay, no, we're not doing, no, I'm not that, not that there's anything wrong with that, but
Here's the whole application. It's just-
we're going septic. Back to conversation I want.
Blank ones in there too, just in case we need it.
Sure, yep. Yeah, so technically you shouldn't have been building without having us have signed off on this.
Okay.
Um,
What do you guys need me to do?
I think until we get an approved septic design, we can't approve it.
Right. So we'll take your firstborn, your bank account, and all that.
I'll give you the first, how about the other two after the first one? Especially the third one. Get one, get two free. Well, there's no more, just so you know, there's no more building going on in like, no.
Because it's snowing every day.
Yeah, I know. Every day. Every day.
Every day.
So there's no more, I mean, anybody's welcome to stop by
Yeah.
and check and look and see, there's nothing exciting going on.
Yeah.
Well, you have a wood stove there
That's,
for when you're there so that you can warm up a little bit.
yes, and even that, well, without insulation and blue paper over where windows are going, it really doesn't do a lot.
No.
It's still pretty chilly in there.
I don't know, what do you think?
They should go and see Bob.
Yeah.
Uh,
We can just hold on to this until
And
So
then,
septic
That
design
19,
stuff.
50 feet of snow's gone, they can use on the septic.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say just, yeah, keep this handy, and as soon as you get the septic design, then the selectmen can
Okay.
approve it, and then.
Okay,
we'll get to
okay.
from there. Because it was completely not your fault that no one got back to you. That you tried to do the right thing, and we dropped the ball. So thank you for coming. We
Oh,
appreciate it.
no, please, this is like a night out for me.
Hang around. There might be some singing or dancing later.
Oh.
It's my last meeting, so it just might get fun. I didn't put vodka in my water bottle though, so.
You told me you were in the room with all the.
I know, I said I was going to, but I didn't. I didn't feel, I figured I started off the day with a bang as it was. I didn't need any help. All right, thank you.
Oh, thank you. And is Bob the Razor Hill man?
Yes.
Okay. Bob's
Yeah,
the
Razor Hill
Man.
Excavation is Bob Center.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Good guy.
Bob's the
Really
Razor Hill
good.
man, okay. I'll call him tomorrow.
Did you remember his
And he
name?
probably doesn't even need to wait until the snow's clear because he was there and he did the septic design, and I'll guarantee you he remembers it.
Oh,
yes.
Because that's how he is.
You might want to get a hold of him now, because he's usually really busy.
Oh, he's really busy right now.
Yeah,
Bobby
not right now, but during the
number
summer he gets really.
9180.
Oh, I need this one.
Yeah,
So-
as soon as,
Get a hold of him as soon as you can, so you
Oh,
can
yeah.
schedule with him ahead of time.
yeah, so you can be first or whatever.
Yeah, usually you won't see him after snow clears.
March, he's gonna do
It's
fits,
like the friggin' groundhog.
the last of March.
Yeah. All right, I guess we have time. It's our 6:15. Dale Quinn from the New Hampshire DES. Hello. Come on up. Thank you.
This is Corey.
Hi,
He's also
Corey.
with DES. Basically, I have some plans here, I have a full set. And basically what was from here.
Okay.
These are some that if people need to look at them or want to look at them, they
Okay.
can.
Thank you.
There's also just material, and the folks here for Hilton Pond, and share with you.
Thank you.
Oh, no, excellent. Thank you very much. Lock the door.
No, go ahead. Does anybody want to see more copies of that? We could pass a few around, I guess, if we wanted to. No?
So thanks for having us tonight. Yeah, once again, my name is Corey Clark, Dale Gwynn. We're both from the Dam Bureau, state of New Hampshire. I'm the chief engineer and construction engineer at the Dam Bureau, so I oversee all major reconstruction on all state-owned dams. Dale is one of the project engineers here who did the whole design on this project, so technical questions, he's certainly your man. And we've been looking at Kilton Pond Dam for a while now. One thing that's come up is what we're calling, and you can see on the picture here, we're kind of breaking the dam. The dam's broken down into a couple different sections. We have like the stop log bay, and everything's always looking left, right, downstream. So the stop log bays are on the left side, low level outlets on the right side. So if I start referring to left and right, that's what I'm getting at. The stop log bays, they were installed in, I think, the early 70s is when the stop log bays were installed, and the concrete at the bottom is all starting to really rot out. And so we're afraid that one of those piers is going to let go. We're going to lose the dam through that area. So the primary purpose of this project is to reconstruct those stop log bays. We're also going to be looking at a couple other things. For one, we're actually going to put a new entrance off of Route 4 right there next to the stop log bays. One thing that we have now is In order to access the stop log bays, we have to just pull off onto the shoulder of Route 4, walk over the embankment, so the guys doing the operations, whether they're pulling logs or something like that, that's how they get there. And we also don't have a way to get to the area between the stop log bays and the spillway. So that kind of grassy area, we have no way to get there other than on foot. So if we have to get equipment out there, we can't do it. So we're gonna rebuild the stop log bay, pretty much in its current configuration, meeting modern standards, but we're also gonna put a wide walkway on there. And then we're gonna have a new driveway just for our purposes off of Route 4 so that we can drive down in there and then unload equipment if we have to and actually get out to kind of that grassy area. The other thing we're gonna be looking at is the low-level outlet. So this is basically the bathtub drain at the dam. I'm sure a lot of you folks have been there swimming and stuff. You'll see that it's basically that little concrete piece that's just around the water surface or just below the water surface. In front of that is wooden boards underwater that blocks that outlet. What we want to do is remove those wooden boards and actually put an actual gate in there so that we have more control over if we need to drain the pond, we can. Because right now, basically, we just have to try to get in there. I think they're attached with a chain, but basically pull those logs out. And we're also concerned if those logs let go any time of any year, then we're going to lose the pond through that low level. So having a cast gate in place right there will help solve that. So those are kind of the big things that we're going to be looking at as part of this project. How are we going to do this? So the state of New Hampshire owns the dam, owns the land on the dam. There is easements for the town beach on the side there. And so our thinking is we're going to try to stage our equipment along the driveway portion coming into where the parking is for the town beach, but keep the town beach open. Yes, there might be some impacts for parking and stuff like that, but our goal is certainly in the evenings when we move out that we leave it so that people can still access the town beach and that sort of thing. We are going to be building a cofferdam, so an earthen dam in front of the current dam, basically coming off the parking area for the town beach. We're going to be building an earth dam that goes all the way across to the stop log bay area. And through that earth dam we'll have several culverts that will basically keep the existing flow through that earth dam and over the spillway so that we can still do the work on the stop log bay. So it'll be a little kind of segmented off, so to speak, so that we can
divert the water away from the work area.
Yeah, exactly. So what we're going to do, and after working with Fish and Game and the Army Corps of Engineers and the wetlands folks, we found out the best time of year for to drain the pond, because we have to drain the pond in order to get the earth cofferdam in. The best time to do it is just after ice out, before the loons hit the lake and the other waterfowl, and before the fish start spawning. So we're gonna, as soon as we hit ice out, tentatively April 1st, sometime in that time frame, we'll keep an eye on it. But we'll get out there, we'll drain the impoundment, put in the cofferdam, and then as soon as the cofferdam's in and stable, then we'll start filling the pond back up with our goal to have it basically full some point probably.
And how long is that time frame?
It will probably be like a month, I would think, of the pond being down before it comes back up. And then hopefully during the summer recreational season, everything seems normal. Of course, that could change depending on if we have a drought or if we have significant rainfall like we did 2 Julys ago, or something that's out of our control. If there's an issue going on at the construction site where we gotta lower the pond, then we may have to do that. But our goal is not to do that. And then hopefully next fall, we will drain the pond once again, pull all that cofferdam material out, and then refill the pond. That time could change depending on construction, and if we don't get to the point we want to be at, and we have to postpone through the winter, we'll continue working at the site, but we may not do the drawdown until the following spring. So.
Okay,
And the second drawdown will be another month?
Hopefully not as long. It'll be hopefully a little faster getting things cleaned out of there, but it could be. And also, it's all contingent on what we have for inflow coming in to refill the pond. So,
I have a dug well that's 20 feet from the pond, which pretty much is my water supply.
yep,
So I'm gonna be without water for a month.
possibly, I don't know how the aquifer works, with the pond, with your well, but that could be a possibility.
Okay, so it's great that in EPA and environment, everybody's worried about the fish, but what about the people?
Yeah, I
We
mean.
have no consideration for us?
Well, I'm not, the state doesn't regulate private wells or private water systems. And so we have, well, certainly at the Dam Bureau, we don't have any control over who puts their well where or how that aquifer is tied in. So there could be an impact, and I apologize for that, and I'll give you my contact information so that you can
I have
reach.
yours for it.
Okay.
We've
See-
spoken before.
Okay, did you reach out to the drinking water, groundwater? No? Okay. I would reach out to them to see if there's anything that they can do, but there could be an impact for some period of time.
And I'm probably not the only person.
No, you're not the only person.
So,
I also
you know,
have a dug well.
I mean, so if we lose water, we're, SOL and what, move out of our house for a month, that's, it's a serious impact on a lot of people.
Sure, I mean, reach out to me if that does occur, but what we're trying to do by doing this reconstruction is have a situation that we're controlled rebuilding the dam versus having this low-level outlet blow out and the pond is then instantly lost, and then we're not in any shape or form to go in there and do this reconstruction. If that was to occur, we'd likely not get to the reconstruction for a period of years because the permitting would not be in place, nor would the design be in place. So I understand the impacts that this may have, but we're trying to get ahead of it so that we don't lose the pond.
How far down do you expect to draw the pond down?
We're probably going to, in order to replace that low level, we have to go all the way down to the base of the dam. There could be a natural pond still left, I'm not sure. We'll know once we drain it down. But, and that's the other reason we're trying to do it in the spring. Groundwater tables are higher, hopefully the wells aren't as impacted as if we were to do this at a different time of year. Yes?
As early as you can do that, they're still gonna have spring water and ice melt coming down from the mountains
Hopefully, that.
that will feed the wells. So as early as you can do that.
Yep.
It's the best.
Yeah.
All right, Doug, well, my name is, what's the state's idea of ice out? That mean open water all the way around, or all ice on pond? Because residual ice will melt and keep the table.
Yeah, so what we're trying to avoid is any sort of dock damage or anything like that. If we have ice tied into all the structures or the shoreline and we start drawing it down, the ice is going to start pulling on all that stuff. So we're trying to avoid that by basically waiting until ice out.
Why don't you just go around each dock and just cut it with a chainsaw and drop it?
I think that you're gonna
The
find
ice,
out.
it ain't gonna fall on the dock, if you cut around the dock and drop the water level.
It's still gonna pull.
I'm gonna have the state do the work, I didn't say you won't. Why don't the state go out there, cut around the docks, when they drop it, all that ice that still remains, the residual water from that ice melting will not allow this man's well to go dry.
Once again, I don't know that.
I'm just giving you a,
Yeah, I understand. And so,
it's displacement.
right, yep.
How much notice will we get?
So this is
The actual day when you start.
So
We're talking ice out, so.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what that date is.
I have your contact information.
April 10th and April 18th.
Yeah,
Roughly
so
around
I will
April
reach out
16th.
to folks who have given me their contact information to let them know when we're gonna start drawdown. But if there's another means, if there's the Kilton Pond Facebook group or something like that, then I can reach out to it, I can do that as well.
Well, how about if you reach out to our office,
Yep, I can do that too.
and then we can put it on the sign?
Or even, and on the website, we can
Or on
make it,
the
if you're
website.
signed up for notifications from the town website, you can get it via email, be notified.
So when the water's down, what kind of maintenance can we do on our docks and surrounding areas?
So while the water's down, generally, you still have to abide by all the state regulations and everything else. Typically, if you're doing stuff without equipment and you're out of the water, so you might be, you know, doing maintenance on your dock or something like that.
Yeah, put new pads on, put new feet on.
Yeah, that is fine. You cannot expand your dock, you can't just replace your dock, but if you're just, yeah, replacing the footings underneath your, something like that, I think would be perfectly fine. and
We had a
acceptable.
tree fall down in front of our dock last year. Am I able to pull that tree out of the water?
Yes, if it's a nuisance tree, then typically you can,
That's
yeah.
obstructing, access.
Yep.
And I'm obstructing the whole road and the road.
Yep.
Actually, that is
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, you should be able to take care of that stuff. Yep.
Okay, anyone else?
I guess if we got notified, like, heads up, it's gonna be between the 10th and the 18th, again, let them know what's the state's idea of ice out? Does that mean when the water is melted beyond docks?
Typically, that's how we do it.
Okay.
So typically, it's when, you also run the risk of, you know, you have the floating iceberg, if you will, and
You're
that,
gonna float, and you drop that thing, it's gonna set right down in that pond.
yeah. We can't, now, we only can drop it 6 inches or a foot a day. So we do have to abide by that stuff. But, yeah, we'll keep a close eye on it, and when it appears that it's time to go, then we'll start letting it go.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. So once again, I apologize for the wells. I know it's a huge inconvenience, and it you know, it really isn't good no matter when. The guidance I can give you is contact the New Hampshire Drinking Water Groundwater Bureau, which is part of DES. I don't know what they have to help you folks that might run into this,
Is that
but
part of the Groundwater Management Act? Some of those abide by laws in there?
possibly in the aquifer and everything else. I mean,
Okay.
and that's one of the reasons that the work would probably go a little quicker and faster if we kept the pond drained all summer long. We'd be able to really get in there, but we're trying to avoid that, because that is, you know, we have run into the situations where there's construction sites that we have where we've had to drain the entire pond. Can't keep it full by any means, and there are impacts there as well. So we're trying to, you know, mitigate those as much as we can.
You said the plan is to draw down 6 to 12 inches a day?
Yep.
So if I have 2 inches of water, or 2 feet of water, so about 4 days, once you start, I'll be down to the mark.
If your well water is tied directly to the lake level, then possibly yes. But once again, I don't know, because not only is all the streams and everything else and coming from Tewksbury down, flowing in, but you also have ambient groundwater as well. So that's also going to be coming in during the process too. But I have my card here. I'll leave it up here. If you run into issues, give me a shout, and yeah, we'll see what we can do. And hopefully the time frame doesn't dry things out completely.
So, I got another question. This probably for the Corps of Engineers, when you guys pull that stuff out of there, and all the toxic stuff that's gonna head out downstream, and mess with the ecosystem.
Meaning,
You gotta pull that old dam out of there, right?
oh yeah, it's all gonna.
Okay, so when you're doing that construction and you're hitting it with an excavator or whatever you're gonna pull it out, you can either do it with a shovel and a pick.
Right, and so
What about the ecosystem downstream?
so we're gonna be doing it all in the dry. So that's the purpose of the cofferdam, is to basically
Okay.
keep that entire area dry. There will be water going over the spillway and through that channel.
You
But-
have to divert it around.
The channel through the stop log bay will be all dry while we're doing the demo and everything else.
Okay, so you're gonna pull it, and how deep down is gonna dig when you pull that copper off?
The coffer, we're gonna go down to basically the current pond
Where
bottom.
the dam is now.
Yep.
Okay, and you're gonna pour concrete and add calcium to it?
So yeah, in the stop log bay area, we're gonna be going down to the rock that's currently underneath the stop log bay,
Yes,
pulling that out and then putting it back with new concrete, yes.
with calcium, or setback. That's what you guys do, is you're gonna have rebar and then you use calcium to set it up fast so that you can feel it.
So we typically don't do the set fast if we don't have to, because
You will if you have to.
if it's all temperature dependent. And so given that, typically we see that a lot more in the winter season when we're doing construction, because it brings up the concrete temperature, and by bringing up the concrete temperature, it's less apt to freeze, and so we can cure it better that way. In the summer months, it's basically just keeping the water to it. We actually want to slow it down as much as we can.
I understand that.
So, okay. So our hope is not to throw a bunch of additives in there.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Are you familiar with the term spiking a well, or go well?
Not exactly.
Yeah, it's like a well, not down. Is that what you got?
No, but I'll do it. You got a minute after
Oh,
this.
yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah, it's fun.
All right, thank you very much for coming, we appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, folks.
Yeah, yeah, just let the office know when you're ready to get started, and we'll get the water.
Okay.
It's a draft.
It's up to you, it's up to you.
I've already sent it to the town.
All right, yeah.
Well, but you're welcome. We're taking all these different kids.
All right, I know it's kind of chilly out, but I'm gonna have to ask you to take your conversations outside so we can finish our meeting, thank you. Thank you.
I'm not going anywhere, wait on you.
All right, next order of business is a building notification letter that Dave has in his hand.
Ambitious Acres LLC. The 31 Coit Road, Grafton, New Hampshire. 2 buildings have been put up with no building notification. You have, one has well and septic and heat, which classifies it as a dwelling. Yeah, a couple letters for you. Ryan, who is the proprietor of the LLC? You and
Not really answer questions.
So I think you have to go back with Kirby.
Yeah, that, here's the ordinance, toilet, toilet, every,
I haven't seen it.
yeah.
Do you want to just hand it to them while they're here? Or do you
Yeah,
want
might
to
as well. We can do both if we need to.
Doesn't matter to me. It's,
I can hand it to them right now.
Hmm.
We hand it to them right now. Yeah.
put that all back together. Thank you. Doesn't matter.
Do you guys want it now?
They don't want it at all.
I don't own the property, so I don't know what you're.
Alright,
That's why I asked you who proprietor of the LLC is.
Okay.
Yeah. No problem.
Okay. IT support services.
Okay, so. I did some research into trying to find some support for us. I started with asking the surrounding towns, so Orange, Danbury, Canaan, Bristol, to get an idea of who they use. Orange, they just kind of self-maintain, they don't have a lot of computers, they don't hold office hours like we do either. So they just kind of, when they have an issue, they have people in town they call up to get help. Danbury uses, for the town office, PCC Help out of Sunapee. And then the PD uses Certified Computer Solutions. Canaan uses Twin Bridges, which still, he ghosted me. I have gotten no response from him to date. So I've stopped trying to reach out. Bristol, they use a company called Nesset.
Yep.
So I ended up reaching out to Certified Computer Solutions, PC Help, and Nesset to kind of get an idea of what they support, how much it costs, and did some comparisons. So PCC Help, they do not do contracts. They're more of like a break fix. So if we have an issue, we call them. They can definitely give us some guidance if we want to purchase computers on what they think is the best computer, but really we purchase it. They support whatever we purchase. They are, for just the as-needed support, it's $100 an hour for on-site or remote visits, but they charge by the minute. So if you only need them for 30 minutes, you're only getting charged for 30 minutes. They don't run up to the hour. I did not have them come on site to do a site survey because they would have charged for that, and it would have been at least $100, so I decided not to have them do that right now.
Good call.
Yeah. The only municipal client they had is Danbury, but they have been doing it for about 27 years, computer support in general. They'll support any operating system.
Oh, they were the ones that you said that they've actually got somebody on staff who knows Linux?
No.
Oh,
No.
that was these guys, that was
Yeah,
CCS,
that's the
okay,
one.
all right.
Yeah. Let's see. Then Nesset, so they're very high end. They pretty much do everything. They service municipals. They have a huge client base of municipalities. But their cost is a monthly agreement, which they average around $1,500 to $200 a month, which averages to $18,000 to $24,000 a year. And then there's a $3,000 one-time onboarding fee. And they would want to support the whole municipality, not just the selectmen's office. Right now, Mitchell and Bonnie are tied into contract with Twin Bridge for the year. And they're also located out of Somersworth, which is down by Dover, so they're a lot further away, so getting someone to come up to support, they have to travel further. We're gonna pay for that. And they did say that they would buy out the Twin Bridge contract if that's what we wanted to do, but that's just, it was high. So again, I didn't end up having them come on site just because I knew that the cost for them was just way out, that wasn't even money to play with.
Yeah.
Certified Computer Solutions of New Hampshire, I did end up having her come out and do a site visit. The site visit for her was free. And this was her proposal that she gave. So she came out on February 24th. 75 to 80% of her clients are municipalities, so they have a huge client base for municipals as well. She gave us 2 quotes. She gave us one for a total care contract, which was $9,300 a year. That includes everything. That includes the cost of the computers, firewall, all of that. And then we have the Total Care Plus, so it's everything that you get in the Total Care Plus cybersecurity, but that one was $14,040 a year. The agreement size is dependent on the number of devices that they're supporting, and she quoted it for 4 devices. Thinking my computer, the treasurer's computer, welfare, and then the tax collector computer, because there's the possibility that that tax collector computer actually isn't on the Twin Bridge contract.
Sorry, say those again. Your computer, the
Yep,
tax collector, the treasurer,
and welfare,
and the welfare.
yeah.
Thank you.
So, and then, so the Total Care contract, 24/7 monitoring, with antivirus, patch management, repair, maintenance for the 4 workstations, so that's all included. So if they've got to come out and do maintenance, that's included in the price, there's no extra charge. That's installation of a network attached storage, so she's thinking just doing external hard drive for backup. And then the possibility of having that then go up to the cloud for additional backup support just in case that hard drive fails. Installation of a sonic wall firewall with essential security suites. Microsoft 365 business standard. And then backups for up to 10 users. Migration of current email boxes to Microsoft 365 accounts. So that would include that work. So right now it would get rid of the cost of our domain that we are paying for so that we can have the emails that we have. And it would migrate them over to that.
So would that get to the selectmen each their own email? So we wouldn't have to use our personal, everyone getting lost and.
So I will find out.
We could have been doing that all along.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we could potentially, everyone could have their own email.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then of course, you guys have the other nice thing she did is she did like this comparison between the 2 as well. So in the Total Care Plus, like I said, it's all of that plus the security, so cybersecurity awareness training, simulated phishing attack, which means that basically they push tests to the computer, like to your email, and just to make sure that the computer's doing what it's doing to stop a threat. Dark web monitoring, firewall threat protection and blocking, annual network assessment and conditional access policy, implementation and management, She did say like a lot of municipalities don't have cybersecurity, this is something new that they're becoming more aware of and trying to heighten. Let's see. The additional cost that she quoted me for on top of, so that would be the yearly expense. She also quoted me for a multifunctional printer, which was $815, so that would get rid of the 2 older printers I currently have in my office and gives me one bigger computer that would, printer that would do
Color
everything.
and two-sided and.
Yeah, everything that
Yeah.
those 2 separately do for me.
Collate and staple and sort.
There would be a charge for mounting network equipment and cleaning up all the wiring, because the wiring is just a mess there, so doing wire cleanup. That is $1,500 for that.
I kind of feel like that's one thing we could absolutely do in-house easily, between a selectman or 2 that has a clue and a town maintenance guy who used to do this kind of stuff for a living.
Well, that's kind of something that's like, it'd be nice that everything's doing what it's supposed to be doing, so.
Yeah, right.
Can we keep Russell away from electrical items?
Can we keep Russell away from that? Like, that's up to you, buddy. That's gonna be your problem. That is SEP.
So,
So-
I have a question for
Yeah.
you. Is the treasurer's computer online now?
Yes,
Does it need to be?
yes.
For mine.
Okay, what about welfare?
So, the current welfare director does not use it. There would be potential for that computer if a welfare director wanted to make the records electronic. She would be able to use the computer to store them.
Right. So right now, that would be a moot point.
The other thing is with the one on the treasurer's desk, that has to stay on all the time so that Bonnie can for some reason Bonnie uses that for
Avatar.
access Avatar, which makes no sense because we should, with what we pay Avatar, that includes what, 5 licenses, I think you said?
Yeah, so
So she should have that on her own computer, that she shouldn't need that to
Right.
access that
So
off from a
she
different.
does have it on her own computer, but she has to reach out to it for, I guess that's like the home.
All right,
What,
sorry,
But-
I don't mean to be making that face at you like
No, no, that's-
you're not lying to me, I know you're
No,
not.
no,
It just
that's
doesn't
okay.
make any sense.
it doesn't, because if she needs it for that purpose, why is it there and not on her computer?
Yes.
Because, I know I reach out to the treasurer's computer for it just because Avatar isn't compatible with Linux. If I have a Windows, I can put it on there, I won't need to
Right,
use it for that,
yeah.
so.
So you gotta get rid of that Linux. You need a new
Yeah.
computer anyway, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the,
So that would be the first order of business to get a new computer.
yep, which would be included in this.
So this comes $9,300 a year, is $23.25 per computer. You said that's based on supporting 4 computers. That seems like a really high number to me. My other thing is, we gotta consider, what have we been paying for IT? Zero.
Right.
And we've been getting what we paid for, pretty much.
Yeah.
But, it just feels like a really huge jump in.
Well, the welfare office is not open every day.
You might recall I was opposed to buying that computer in the first place. And quite honestly, considering how it does not get used, potentially one of these other ones that needs to get upgraded, that could be the one instead of, you know what I mean? We could cut it back to 3 and use that computer somewhere where it's actually needed and will get used.
Right.
Just a thought. So another thing that Sarah and I kicked around was, so we've got the ARPA money that's got to be allocated by the end of 2023, spent by the end of 2025. Could technically either A, go and buy all the equipment now rather than doing this in like a 4-year refresh cycle, bit by bit. use the ARPA money to do that, or maybe do a 3-year contract. You're gonna come up at what, $27,900. It's allocated this year, it'll be spent by 2025, but that means in 2026, you're either gonna have to figure out, you either add it to the budget or figure out a less, a less expensive way to do things, if I'm making sense. Yeah.
Tough run.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's wicked expensive for just a few computers. I don't know if you get an answer from my better half.
No.
But it's also the battery backups and the firewall,
Right.
because our firewall now is running by Windows 97, or Windows 7.
Yeah, Windows
Yes.
7, right, which is, yeah, that's no good, that's gotta go.
It's pretty much, about a 2-year-old could probably hack it from that down. Nothing wants to hack my graphic computer.
We've looked at the cheapest options, we've looked at the most expensive options, this kind of falls in the middle, and she has been responsive, I think. You guys had a good chat with her, right? When
Yes.
she came in, she
Yeah.
was,
Well, if you do a year's contract, and you like what she does, then make sure that it's, comes up so that it's renewable, so it can be put in the budget for next year.
But also is, the 4 workstations and stuff, theirs, we just borrowing it with this, or, because if we terminate the contract, do they come and take all their equipment back?
Right.
Right, okay.
I'd have to think for this kind of money we're buying it. I would hope.
So that's a question.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
ask her, just make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another question I have for her, is it all or nothing?
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
So can we pick and choose what type of support we
Right.
have when that, or is it when we
Yep.
choose that package, this is everything that comes with it?
But I think you can, if the welfare computer isn't yet utilized the way, you can buy some really good virus protections, and that's all you need for that.
Yeah,
Because
so
it
not have
doesn't-
that part of the
It
contract.
doesn't have
Right, yeah,
anything break.
right, yeah. That's true. Just install McAfee on it or something or whatever, yeah.
Or, it's that one something,
Bit defender.
bit defender, expensive.
Or we could give it to the ambulance.
She still hasn't gone and got one?
Her and I have to, make a road trip.
Oh, really?
Not have to, but she has no idea.
No, she doesn't, that's how she ended up buying it,
Yeah,
so it ended up going
kind of
getting sent back.
I'm probably gonna have a meeting up there and go and help her get a computer.
God bless you.
How are we gonna run a computer if we don't know anything at all?
That's where she's got right hands and left feet.
For what she's doing, she doesn't need anything. so
Shouldn't be anything
No.
serious.
Just has to be able to run it,
God, she's gonna use the geek squad a lot.
So what are we thinking for the computers? Do we want to keep all 4 computers on the contract? Do you want me to break it down just to me and the treasurer? Or-
Who's the other one?
Tax collector and welfare, so, sorry, me and the tax collector, because I feel like if, if we
The
want to,
treasurer needs a
if we need to
computer.
nickel and dime, me and the tax collector need the computer cost. Treasurer, I could share my computer if it came down to,
What's running on that one, do you know?
QuickBooks and Avatar.
What's the-
And if I have Windows, we won't, so, and then the
But it's got
treasurer's-
Windows on it, is
Right,
it,
so
is that the Windows 7 box? or-
that's no, that's Windows 10.
Okay.
But it may have a Linux base, it's Windows 10 over Linux base. I don't,
Yeah,
yeah.
you need to get rid of those.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
That was big as it's
so
like.
that was one of my thoughts, is that,
3 and dump the other one.
3, okay.
oriented.
Yeah, that makes sense. That welfare one is brand new,
I know it is.
and like you said, it does not
And
get used like it
just by
was
a good
supposed to.
virus.